Welcome to the Port Charles Update with your hosts, Mish and Mel.
Hey, Mel. Do you laugh at everybody who calls you? Or
No. Okay, are you recording?
yes, yeah, we're gonna be doing a podcast this week. It's called Week 8.
Well, that should let you know what kind of week I've had.
Yeah, do that. I'm your sis. I'm Michelle, by the way. Hey,
Oh, nice to meet you. Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
it's our
podcast.
regular podcast.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm on board. I'm here. I'm ready. Okay. How was your week?
My whatever. I don't remember. So I'm gonna talk about today. So today something exceptional happened. So Jackson was sick and he had to stay home from daycare. So I mean, I was like, oh, 2 kids and 2 dogs at home all day. This will be great. I don't understand what happened. It was an amazing day. Everyone was so good. Like the everything in the house was like quiet. There was no chaos. The dogs were not going
Wow.
crazy. Everybody was calm, even down to when Johnny got home and I took the dogs out for a walk. They were super good. I don't know what happened, and I don't know if and when a kid is sick, they're often super whiny.
Yes.
Again, didn't happen. Mind you, he did get sicker in my care, but I'm not sure if this day is exactly as I'm saying it was, if it was as great as I think it was, or if I just really enjoyed focusing on the kids as a way of avoiding an assignment I had to do. Because the moment Jackson was home, I was like, well, I can't do this. I have to watch 2 children. So yeah, that was my really good day. Really good day. I know that sounds horrible that I'm home with my 2 kids, and shockingly, I had a very good day, but I did.
Hey, I'm a mom of two and two dogs as well. What happened today is like a miracle,
It's
a
unicorn day.
gift. Oh,
Yeah,
1000% a unicorn day. All you do is be grateful for it.
I am. I really am. So I don't even want to jinx it. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. I'm
Okay.
scared to move. So I'm going to ask you how your week was, or
You
your
know
day
what?
if you don't recall the rest of the week.
I was going to say, you know what? I realized because I re-listened to our podcast that I often say that my week is a blur. So I'm going to try to go with something different this week.
Okay.
Okay, so I had super cool assignments at work, even though it's incredibly stressful. We got Olivia's school pictures back, and she looks so cute because I thought she was going to look like a raggedy mess.
Everybody got them this week because we got, oh no, I got mine last week. Never mind. I want to hear more about it. So Olivia got hers.
Yes, she got hers,
Okay.
but it's one battle I won't fight is her expression of wanting to dress herself or how she wants to do her hair. I think
Hmm.
I have a million good pictures of her. If she wants to dress a certain way and have her hair a certain way for picture day, she knows it's picture day, go for it. You're super cute. Do your thing. The pictures came back. She smiled, which was
She
awesome.
smiled.
Yeah, she kept her clip in her hair. It was like, it's super cute. I can't wait to get them. So we just have the proof today and I have to like order them, but that was like the highlight.
Oh, that's so cool. We actually, because we didn't buy Jackson's last year because you send them to daycare one way and he was a complete disaster. And they're so young that they're terrified that there is no way of getting a smile. But this year he's bigger, so he smiled. And honestly, I put product in his hair because I wasn't going to risk having bad hair in these pictures. And they were so cute. So we for sure bought them this year. And everybody else I know has gotten their kids' pictures and stuff.
That's really funny you say that because I don't use very many hair products in my hair, but I use grapeseed oil from the Body Shop. And I put some on her hair and she was like, she felt so special. And like, because I do my hair and then I just kind of like
Yeah.
put whatever was left in her hair. So it was a little bit curlier and a little bit more tamed. And she just felt so special. It was adorable.
I have a son, so I had to work real fast. But anyways,
Let's
let's
hop
we
into this.
yeah, we can start with our favorite psycho, Ryan. So what did you think of him this week?
Oh, I have such like I'm getting more and more scared. Like every
Yeah,
time he moves, I'm scared. Every look he gives, I'm scared. Like, just
We're
go
at
ahead.
that part where we don't really know. Like, I mean, you're at the part where you're suspicious. Is somebody going to figure this out? And I mean, they did a fake out this week with Laura, because when Laura
Yes.
looks at him, goes, "What did you do with my husband?" For a second
I
there, I'm like,
know.
she knows. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is a soap opera.
And
After
she
the
knows
commercial,
nothing.
no, she didn't. I even almost forgot about Ryan's encounter with Kevin. I almost forgot about it this week.
It wasn't super memorable. It was a little bit
No.
weird, but not crazy intense. His interaction with Ava, that was super creepy.
Yes, yes, that's where we got a lot of the creepiness from.
Because like the whole his interaction with her, his borderline flirtation, and him indulging her willingness to kill is almost feeding into my whole, like, I know we don't like talking about like the gossip of the internet, but we do know that Kiki has another
Yeah,
job. And we
yeah.
know that we don't know if she's going to be recast or not. But when he kept trying to get her to feed into that emotion of not wanting her around, I'm like, is he gonna kill Kiki to gain Ava's affection?
Oh man, that I oh, oh,
I'm
again, I'm in
sorry,
my
I know you
car.
don't.
I'm
I
in
know.
my car. It's really dark. So I'm gonna go with I don't know. I mean, I would be really creeped out because I have thought about that. How is this gonna work? We're showing this like really creepy relationship. Well, no, it's more Ryan trying to bond with Ava through her anger and her willingness to kill, I guess. So I don't know how that's going to work out. Like you said, he could do it to gain her affections, but that would mean telling her what he did. It could be pushing her to do it. It could be him doing it and then framing her. Like, I really don't know how it will go, but he is making a further connection with her.
I think so too. And like, when we were noticing how Oscar they kept talking about like the future, the future, the future. I find that Kiki and Griffin, there's a lot of focus on the relationship and where it's going and being together. Like they're so like in love. And
Well,
what I,
I
you know,
mean,
movies, the ones that are happy and in love are the ones that get crushed.
well, okay. So I'm gonna tell you before I get into Griffin and Kiki, I definitely want to say that you're right. The interaction with Ryan and Kevin wasn't extremely memorable, but what does stick out for me is just that it's hilarious how you can watch a scene and
Hmm.
notice the nerdiness of one and the psychoticness of the other, which I thought was really hilarious because I can see
Hmm.
that. I'm like, because I can look at the scene and be like, Kevin, you're so lame. Like, Ryan, you're
I
so
know,
crazy. I just
right?
don't know how he does it because he's the same person, obviously, in both scenes, but he does such an amazing job. But
I
in
agree.
terms of Kiki and Griffin, okay, so you remember how I said I was looking forward because I had originally said, I don't feel like there's a ton of chemistry, especially when Griffin was with
I
Ava. It was
remember.
very much their friendship. And I said the thing I'm looking forward to is pretty much their flirting and their courtship. And how old am I? Their courtship. Um, but
Look
then
at
what
the Photoshop.
but then what ends up happening is they just get thrown together really fast, and that's what makes me a bit scared for the fate of their relationship, is that I don't necessarily feel like they're super in love. I just feel like it's fast, and the fact that it's fast, it's sort of destined to kind of crash and burn a little bit.
I agree, but that scene with the two of them, like, again, it was one of those scenes like Jason and Sam that I
That
was,
scene, or are you talking specifically that love scene?
oh, that love scene, like, holy, they showed way more skin than I was prepared for. I'm not a prude or anything. And then just like how much it
There I
went,
saw the
uh,
chemistry.
whoa, that's what I was saying. Like, it's laughing at your chemistry. I'm like, damn, I saw chemistry. I saw a lot of things.
Yeah, my jaw was like dropped, and that lady met 57. She said, and this is exactly what it felt like in my house. That I haven't seen a scene like this in the afternoon in a very long time. Give us more. What was even funnier is that Johnny happened to be home when I was watching that, and he's like, "What are you watching?"
Oh my God.
He's like, "This is the middle of the day." And I was just laughing. I'm like, well, it's a soap opera. This is well, we haven't. Okay, I swear I don't mean to be insulting when I say this, but I have to say, like, it's been a long time that they've showed a love scene between sort of a younger couple, like a younger, newer couple.
Yes, it's true. I know what you're saying.
So I feel like they just sort of like went for it, like really went for it.
They went for, I was like, the minute, okay, like not to be like the minute I saw that zipper dress, I'm like, this scene is going down.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Like, I was just like, I'm sorry. Because that's what I mean by it progressing really fast. It's like, what happened to Griffin? It was like overnight, he stood up to Ava overnight. And then
Hmm.
overnight, he's fun.
I know. It's like, wow, all right. I mean, great
Yeah.
for Kiki and great for her scene. Like, that's amazing.
So again, there's like a debate on chemistry. I felt like before they got together, not so much. I was looking forward to watching it build.
Agreed.
It built fast, and just being honest with you, is somebody on Instagram who said I personally don't like seeing Kiki and Griffin. There's no chemistry there. So there's some people who think that still after this love scene there is no chemistry, and I guess I'm a little bit mixed on it. Like I said, it happened way faster. Bit of a whiplash there. There are moments. There's definitely moments where I see the chemistry for sure, and I mean that love scene was definitely one of those moments. So glad I record. Rewind.
Well, it's more like, I don't know if it's chemistry or it's just like it's two good-looking people in a room together.
Yeah.
I think it's
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I think it's more. I think it is more that. So
I
yeah,
think so.
that was definitely some fun that we had this week. So thank you, Kiki and Griffin. I can't even say their names. Like it's burned in my brain, and I'm rewinding it in my head that I can't even get
I
through
was
with what I have to say.
gonna say
Like,
that. Are you picturing?
do you know what a burden it was to rewind that scene to find one to photograph for Instagram? Such a burden. Hated every
Hard
minute of
work.
it.
Hard work you have.
Yeah,
Hard
I hated
work.
it. So super okay, because they start you notice that they started showing Lulu talking more about Dante in not a good way.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so now this week again, we see Lulu going to her mother about, well, about Dante, but I guess they're both having issues in their marriage. But what I absolutely loved this week was Laura trying to school Lulu a little bit on her behavior and calling her out about trying to be a little bit more understanding with Dante.
Yes.
So I mean, at first it starts off in the apartment when she's trying to explain to her mother all this stuff about Peter and how he's always been on her side. And then
Hmm.
I love how Laura just looks at her. She like clearly doesn't really agree with what she's saying and just says, well, I hope Dante comes around. But I mean, you're not going anywhere good if what you have to say is that another man, Peter, is on my side. What about Dante? I think that Laura did a really good job in the office anyway of trying to explain to Lulu, explain how this might not be the best thing and
Well,
explain maybe why it was hard for Dante.
exactly, bringing another perspective to the table, a normal human being perspective to the table. Like, you don't see that there's anything wrong with your picture in the paper or that you went out with this guy or the way that you're treating things. But the one line I did like from the writers of that scene, like the whole scene, Lulu's very Lulu. Her mother's giving her this great information that she can either take or not take. But the line that I did like she said about Dante, so Lulu said this, she said, Dante couldn't resist putting on someone else's life for a while. I really liked that line, but as she's saying it, she's still not hearing it.
Yes, I see what you mean. And that is the thing about Lulu. She can verbalize what somebody else might be feeling or thinking, but she really doesn't connect to it. It takes, I feel like, a long time. Like everything with Maxi, it took a long time for you to actually see in her that she accepted responsibility. And
Yes.
with the thing that she's saying with Dante, it's like you're kind of saying, I understand that he wanted to put on someone else's life for a while, but it doesn't matter, basically, is what that is. But my favorite line, this is one I thought you were going to say, is that I loved it when Laura told Lulu, you need to live in the world as it is and not in the world like how you'd like it to be. And I thought that was hilarious because I
Oh
think
my
that speaks
God.
volumes to Lulu, is that she often, I feel, is not living in the real world.
Oh my God. Absolutely. Can't believe I forgot about that. That is an excellent, excellent
That was
line.
my
And
favorite, but
very,
we're skipping the in between because you were right. I was just so not having it last week because I'm like, no. This doesn't go together. Like the whole Lulu and Peter, I'm like, who's buying that? I'm not buying that. I know he has a bond with Maxi, and I mean, Lulu's married. Like I really was just like, no. But not only it's true, and I mean, I don't. Maxi believes it. Oh my gosh! And even
I
Nina,
know.
I can't even speak. But when Nina went to go talk to Lulu and then she comes back to Maxie saying Lulu doesn't seem to know how she does feel about Peter. And I was like, what?
But it was really valid. It was true to what was going on. Lulu was just caught up in a moment of somebody paying attention to her because she doesn't get the attention from her husband, which I think is absolutely insane because it's Peter, for crying out loud. It's Peter. Like, why would you even entertain? Like, why do you think this is okay?
That's the thing though, because I honestly, it wasn't until Nina sort of said that I actually was more buying into this story and I could really see it.
Hmm.
I could see Lulu not being careful and not realizing what she's doing. She's done it before. When
Exactly.
especially when she was talking to her mom, or I don't remember who she was talking to, but she was just saying how like Dante left without consulting her, and I'm just like, honestly, are you really talking about doing things or making big decisions without consulting your partner? You've done it quite a bit. And I mean, back in the day, like when he had cheated on Lulu with
Mhm.
Valerie, he had cheated on her because she decided to go on a mission with Dylan that had to be secret, and she
Oh,
chose not to include her husband. But then Dylan somehow got involved because he ended up finding out something. So
yes.
all the evidence had pointed, to her being in a hotel room with Dylan. And I mean, on the outside, it looked like it was an affair. And that was really damaging. You kept a secret, and this sort of happened. And even then, I don't think she fully took responsibility for that whole situation.
No, I agree. I just remember
Uh,
her
yeah.
pointing blame and not having any. I'm not saying that what happened was right, but she did not take blame for her part at all.
No, and she didn't really envision or see the consequences of developing this bond because you had a secret mission. And now with Peter, you're developing a bond based on the fact that he takes your side and your husband doesn't. So
Yeah.
now I'm really confused because this week especially it's just like I said, I really sort of thought, okay, well, they're going in the direction of Maxi Peter, but now I'm super confused because I also thought that Lulu was going to be with Chase
Chase.
possibly. But
Hmm.
then did you notice that, I mean, yes, we'll get into Maxi going at Lulu also and being
Oh, I
really
can't
jealous,
wait.
but when Maxi had that emergency, went to the hospital, notice that she's standing in front of two suitors. She's standing in front of Michael and she's standing in front of Peter.
Yes,
And
I
then
did.
so now
Sorry, go ahead.
I really don't know because if there's something I have to say, like, of course, there's this family looking thing when Peter's holding her baby and they've developed this sort of friendship for a long time. He helped her give birth to her baby. She has that
Mhm.
connection of Nathan through him. But then when she has these moments with Michael, their banter, it pops out.
It really does, and that's exactly what I was going to bring up. It's the fact that what she says, it's so, I don't know if the right word is poignant, or like what it is just like what she says to him is very impactful, and they do have a connection, and they work really well together in a scene. And we said that, maybe it's a friendship thing, maybe it's like they're just buddies and they can connect over this thing, but I can oddly see them together.
I know, and I feel like I'm slowly inching over to Michael and Maxie. I think he deserves a really good happy ending. I mean, I feel like if he's with Maxie, we're fairly certain she's not going to die or
Yeah.
go to prison. She's already been to prison. But it's just that everybody he dates dies. Like he just, or with, Nell, that's just like an exceptionally horrible situation. But he really hasn't had one normal relationship. Well,
No, it's
maybe there
really
was Kiki,
crazy.
sort of. Well,
Well, really?
no. But they're friends. She's normal. It wasn't, maybe it wasn't a normal relationship, but she's normal now, I guess, when she's
Yeah.
not, plotting with his brother to drug Michael. I think overall, it was one of his better relationships.
Sadly, yes.
No, there was Sabrina. Anyways, we can't keep talking about Michael's
Yeah,
failed
no, okay.
relationships,
Yeah.
but I think I would really like to see him with, you know what? They would kind of be like the Jason and Carly that never happened.
Yes, so much. Oh my God, I love that you said that. I really see it.
Yeah, so yeah, I really got shoved in like a really confusing direction today. So now I really have absolutely no clue because when that happened last week, in my head I really thought there was nothing, no friendship with Lulu that would ever really come between moving forward with Maxie and Peter, but now I'm not so sure. So how
Yeah,
did
I
you
think
feel about Maxie just going at Lulu or trying to talk to her about, I don't even know, it was all very indirect their conversation.
oh my God, I freaking loved that scene because she gave Lulu a dose of her own medicine. She put her
Mhm.
in her place. She said what she needed to say in true Maxi form, leaving Lulu bewildered and still confused that she didn't do anything wrong. And I was like, wow, what is wrong with this lady? but at least like Maxie got everything, and everything she was saying was just so like pointed and in her face. I'm like, I love it.
But Lulu still can come back around with a question in the other direction.
I know it's really messed up.
She still came around and sort of questioned whether it was good or not for her to have a relationship with Peter. That
Okay,
Maxie should have a relationship with Peter.
but that ties in what we were talking about earlier. So I don't necessarily know if it's her feeling she's doing the best thing for Maxie, or
Yeah.
she's just subconsciously feeding into what it is that she wants.
To be honest, the way that she, like, her history and how she's behaved, I feel like she believes she's being a good friend, but honestly, now that everything has been put together and we saw the scenes, we saw who Peter represents for her, somebody who is accepting this new part of her, this
Mm-hmm.
new part of her life, this new direction her life is going, and he keeps offering her those shortcuts. And I think that there's an ulterior motive that, like Nina said, that she's not fully aware of.
I agree. Nina's very insightful.
Yeah, she helped me out to come to your side about this whole situation.
Thank you,
So
Nina.
so the whole baby switch thing, we got a little dose this week. There was a scene with Nell that continued on Monday, and so
Yes.
we had a small pocket of Nell and a small pocket of the baby switch storyline with Brad and all that. What what did you think?
Okay, so first thing is, apparently there's only one place to get your passport, and it is at the courthouse.
Right. So I was so confused with that explanation because I was waiting to hear something like he's there to pay a ticket. And then Linda Wyatt 25 on Instagram made me burst out laughing when I read her comment. She wrote, "Don't most people get their passport at the post office?" And that's what confused me because I'm like, okay, is this an American thing that maybe you go to a courthouse to get your passport? So I don't know. I thought that was so hilarious. I was like, really? Really, Brad?
And so not only is it the only place to get your passport, but there's only one way in and one way out.
Which is right beside Nell's trial or courtroom. I mean, there's one courtroom,
Yes.
and you got to get
There-
by Nell each and every time.
So that made me giggle, but the whole Nell is just incredible at the way she turns on that crazy. And
She might be a bit like she would give Ryan a run for his money.
oh, that would be an interesting head to head, I have to admit. Just like that interaction, just that eye contact, and then both giving each other kind of a crazy look. I
One
think it would
psycho
be.
at a time.
Yeah. But yeah, the way she looked at the baby, like I have to admit, she did a really great job doing that. And then just like when she kind of slipped, you almost felt like a human side to her. And
Well, yeah, like she's always so calculating, and it's hard to catch her in a mistake. Who so far do you think is catching the most discrepancies here in regards to Michael's baby?
I think Mike.
Oh, that's true.
He
That's
noticed
true.
right off the bat, like he noticed and he said something. So I think that's kind of cute. I think Carly is picking up on things, but who would put that together?
That's
But if
exactly it.
Carly,
I'm
like
not sure.
that's the hard part. Like I don't know how that would come to be, honestly. But I loved what Michael said. I know I'm kind of jumping, but when Michael said when he holds him, how great he feels.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, because he's yours.
I know. I really hope it's not too long before he gets him back. Because you want him to, he's been through a lot, and Ellison Rose on Instagram points that out too. She's like, hasn't Michael been through enough at General Hospital? Give him some happiness for once. Give him his baby. I know it's a show, but he's had a lot of heartache, and that's the thing. I just hope it's not too long because the last thing you would want is that he's had so much heartache and then to have a child who's, not used to him, or there's difficulty bonding and that sort of a thing. I think it would just be really tough.
I think so too. I would really like to see him have this baby sooner than later and just like be able to share that, and then maybe Maxie and him go on play dates, and then it all kind of goes from there.
Oh my gosh, I already jumped ahead. I'm like, they're gonna have a family of four. Uh, that's what I was thinking when I saw them at the hospital. But can you believe the implicit threat? Like now, I mean, Brad made the hugest mistake when he agreed to, like anybody who has agreed to do anything with Nell, even if in the moment it looked like it would serve their best interest to go
Hmm.
along. She has gone after anybody she's partnered with. She's gone after Ava and even Brad. She's asked him to take on her baby, but then she pretty much says to him, there's nothing like the parent child bond. and hopefully I'll get out soon. So this girl is coming for her baby.
That's true. I forgot about that part. That gave me goosebumps when she said that. I was like, damn, she's getting out. She's
And
not staying for very long.
I guess it depends on how her career outside of General Hospital goes. But Brad, I mean, like, what have you done? Like,
Okay, but
I mean,
why?
if this was anyone else, it's a no. Like, you're gonna go down for this.
Yeah, it's like, why did you choose? I mean, whatever. He was like
He
crazy
was
town,
desperate.
stuff like that.
It was an insane situation, and she did take advantage of him.
Oh, 100%. But why was he getting that passport? Is he running away somewhere?
I think he's just it's an in case thing because
Prepared.
well, yeah, because he knows this secret, and I think he's willing to do anything to keep the baby. And also he's expressed that he thinks that Lucas would go down for this too, that nobody would believe that he went at this whole thing alone. So I think
Hmm.
that this is his way of maybe protecting his family, although I don't really know how much family there would be left if something were to come out.
Exactly.
So yeah, so
Oh,
that was intense. So we had a small dose of intensity in regards to that storyline. And I'm just so curious to know, like you said, who's going to figure this out, because it's just not something anybody would really put together. But then on the other hand, this is Nell, so part of them should kind of, I feel, take it seriously when she's like, there's something you don't know, or when there's a discrepancy in her behavior, because it means she has everything under control except for in that moment.
exactly. I think too that part of the part of her being away in jail, what
Hmm.
would be an interesting thing is like I know she keeps writing him these letters, but he's saying that he's not reading them. But what if he actually is reading them and there's like clues in there?
Knowing her, she might do that. Okay, I'm really creeped out now. I have to start talking about Aiden because
Okay,
I'm
okay, let's go. Let's move on.
super, super scared right now. Um,
Oh, poor
so I
Aiden.
don't know. How did you? I personally like loved Franco's reaction to the teacher in this
That
whole
teacher,
scenario.
oh, that teacher irritated the bejesus out of me. Was it just me? Like, I just couldn't handle how she was. It was almost like she was pointing blame to them as it's like, no, and like belittling them. I just couldn't handle it. I was very frustrated with the way she was addressing them and how she was talking to them and the questioning and the
And
tone of the questioning.
she wasn't getting to the point. And Franco was like, and like when they were
I
going
know,
through
I loved it.
the booklet, and he's like, another gold star. So what's the problem? Like, you call parents in, like, how long are you gonna make them worry? They kept going on and on about like wanting to get the whole picture, and I'm like, I get it and everything, but it sounds like something's really bothering Aiden, and I think it's really great to have all this understanding. But if it's like a really deep issue and he has like a serious problem, I mean, I'm just saying, shouldn't this involve
Mhm.
more professional help? Which is something that I think, of all things, Elizabeth has a decent relationship with her kids, and she's been able to connect them with professional help when necessary. So I was just like, how much more involved teacher do you need to be at this point? Thanks. Bye.
I know, and she's like, he's so withdrawn. She's like, but doesn't he have a friend? Blah blah blah. She's like, oh yeah, he hangs out with this person here. Oh yeah, and he hangs out with this person
But
here.
it's
It's like,
just one friend,
well,
so there must be something wrong with him.
yeah. It's like I don't like people. It's just like,
Well, that's what Franco tried to point out. Like, I've only made friends recently, but I don't know. Just the fact that they brought in a school teacher and they have a set. I don't think any
oh,
child has ever been to school on this show. Like, I don't think we've ever seen a classroom.
that's a good point. I didn't even talk about the set.
So, I mean, I don't know if this is meant to be a serious storyline for Aiden, like Elizabeth needs,
Oh,
another issue with one
right.
of her kids. Or if this has something to do with her causing an issue with Franco because she's a fan. She mentions them getting married.
Oh no, I didn't even think that direction at all.
So I don't
Huh.
know. I don't know which way this is going. If this is an Aiden storyline or if this is a teacher likes Franco storyline.
Oh, good gracious. Let's
Yeah.
move on.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh
So
man,
okay.
where are we
So
going?
this feels so long ago that I almost forgot this happened this week, but how can I even forget Elizabeth knocking on Sam's door? Why? Why? Like, when I saw her knock on the door, I'm like, what business do you have with Sam? Oh, what are you doing there? She doesn't live with either Sam or Drew. They're your baby daddy or something like that. So why would you have to go see her? And then she brings up Oscar, and I'm like, that Oscar is not
Oh,
your son, right? Like, what
oh
are you
yeah.
doing? I don't understand what you're doing. And then when she started talking, I still could not follow. I
Elizabeth? Sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm pretty mad. So you can
No,
say
because me
stuff.
too. Like, Elizabeth and Margot make my blood pressure rise. So when I
Yeah,
saw Elizabeth open her mouth and start saying things that were not making sense to me and were so illogical, I was like swearing at my TV, but quietly because the kids were sleeping, thinking, why? Why is this happening? Sam had so much patience and handled things with such class as usual. And Elizabeth was about to get wound up and start with this whole thing and trying to make Sam feel bad. Like, are you effing kidding me?
right? And so Sam kind of starts out with going, let's just get this over with, like seeming a bit irritated. But then
Yeah.
she starts talking and she's trying to be understanding. And I'm like, why are you trying to understand this insanity? Why are the words Drew coming out of your mouth? Because the point is, Drew knew you knew from the get go. He knew that you were one of the first people to know. He never
Mm-hmm.
came to you, he never asked you for support.
Uh-huh.
You supposedly were with Drew. Well, then he's just like Jason, not the person you're trying to make them out to be, which is they can make their own choices and they often don't choose you, but they can still make their own choices about how to support themselves. And I don't think any of them would appreciate you going behind their back telling Sam what to do,
Bam,
because
you
he
read
can
my
do that on
mind.
his own. He can do that on his own. And I'm just like, who made you in charge? Are you're supposed to be supporting Kim? I don't understand. I don't understand. I
It
don't
was the most, I don't
understand.
no, I agree. It was like the most bizarro scene. You have no right to be there. And exactly like what you said, you are Kim's friend. Why do you keep trying to put yourself in the middle of all the men that you can't have? Let it go.
Oh my gosh, I really just can't with her, and it's just like I don't understand. So you've just been sitting around thinking about Drew, being like, how could I be more involved? He is not thinking about you. And the worst part is so simultaneously you have this ridiculous conversation happening at Sam's house, and then you have, Drew, who's a grown man and who chooses to confide and speak to Franco about all this Margot stuff, which I was just like, honestly, you really don't even need to think about this. So
I know.
Franco is supporting Drew. He's listening to him. He's telling him, look, this is really your choice. It's your life. He's doing that. At some point, Franco and Elizabeth reconnect, and Franco's all like, I'm supporting Drew. And she's like, yeah, I was doing the same thing. How? Tell me how those two things are the same. How are those two things the same? You're trying to run around judging Sam, controlling her life, giving reactions about her and Jason, which is none of your business. I don't
Exactly.
even understand. Meanwhile, Franco is just actually being present with Drew. He's supporting him. He's not being judgmental. He's really allowing him to make his own choices. It's not the same thing. It's not the
No,
same.
I wish he had said, how did you like that she would try to explain that to Franco because he would just be like, you are crazy.
Yeah, I really want him to know what her concept of supporting Drew is, because I think that would really upset him. He has an insecurity when it comes to Drew and her.
Mm,
She's explained it,
okay.
but I think it's still there despite how much it's been explained away. And this has been like a frustrating scene, I think, for a lot of people. And the one that deserves it all is her Instagram name. I'm gonna try to like not make it so explicit, but every
Okay.
time I try to think that I'm about to start liking Liz, she turns into her classic annoying beep self. Okay, so that is pretty much exactly how I feel, because like I
Dead
said, my
on.
love for Elizabeth is limited and very context specific, kind of like Aiden's behavior. But anyways, it's very context specific, and when it comes to Jason and Sam and all of that, it's just I'm so embarrassed for her. Like, I'm so embarrassed for her that she had the nerve to be like, both Drew and Jason rejected me for you, but I'm gonna come and stand in front of you and kind of roll my eyes and judge you for being with them or what you should be doing. I was just like, you're really too much. Like, she's really, really too much. And then there was New York Boo 28 said that she feels that Elizabeth is really jealous of Sam and her relationship with Jason. And she said, please, you got Franco. You can't control everybody.
100%. Like she will
So I
always,
agree with that.
I agree too, because I think she will always be that person who like wishes she was with Jason or wishes she was with Drew. Even though she may be happy with Franco, there's always this part of her that wants to be in their world. Well, guess what? You're not. So let them live their lives. Let's like, why is Sam being judged? Look at all the decisions. First of all, Sam didn't do anything wrong. But look at all the choices that Elizabeth has made, and she still has the gall to go around and judge other people.
I know. It's really, really ridiculous. And I mean, she has references even when she was hiding Drew's, well, identity, which was his actual identity. But she talked about it, that she wasn't part of that inner circle of like Sunny and Carly and all of that. But at the end of the day, like you said, she'll always want Jason or Drew or any type of Jason. Is But the point is, there's a reason it didn't work out, and it's not about her wanting Jason. She just he wasn't what she wanted. Like she can't really accept him for who he is and what he does and his lifestyle. That's the difference with Sam, is just live and let live, and they sort of
Yes.
accept the things each other says, and they try not to control one another, and that's really not the kind of thing that Elizabeth can do, and she couldn't do it in the past. So anyways, I think that she's more in love with and obsessed with an idea of Jason and an idea of being accepted into an inner circle. So Drew has had a really tough week. I
Yeah.
mean, I there's a part of me that really just couldn't believe that he was contemplating like Margot's deal at all, or that he was contemplating things. And I mean, this might just be like, part of me is just going to explain this by, this is just how he's grieving, but it's just so much is going on. I mean, your son is dying, he's mad at you, and for some reason you're taking the time to contemplate this. And I just feel like he's already contemplated this, the risk of having this procedure, of trying to
Okay.
get his memories back, the possibility of losing his current memories, the possibility of dying during this process. These are all the things that he debated months ago before Margot brought this up. But then she brings it up, and it's just strange to me that given what he's living now, he kept kind of mulling it over. And I don't know if it was just some kind of convoluted wishful thinking, like, this is maybe one last thing I can do for my son.
I think so. Like, I think he's just grasping at straws, and it was also a little bit of a distraction from what's going on. Yes, it's directly related to Oscar, but it also, he had an interaction with Peter over it. He had an interaction with Franco over it. Like, he had a chance to. It's not the kind of support he needs, but he still had these conversations with other people as
I think
opposed to just him and Kim.
I think indirectly it was actually very good support, because I think he was getting
Hmm.
the same messages from everyone, like from Sam, and I know from Peter specifically too. Just this idea of, really try to focus, be thankful for the little things, that the little things are what life is made of, and about in this moment, and about the memories that you're creating right now. And I think they kind of grounded him. So those conversations were helpful. And I think even though at first I was really confused, why is he even, entertaining Margot's offer? But at the same time, his contemplation, his absolute confusion, I felt made his grief and the complicated feelings about the Oscar situation so much more real.
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, I was also happy that him and Sunny talked. So Sunny thought to go see him.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So that happened, and I mean, we know that Drew has his own reasons for not going along with Margot. But I don't understand why he had to kind of keep like pushing Sunny with doubt, being like, "How do you know?" Like, I didn't understand that, because it seemed pretty clear cut that he wouldn't betray them. And he kept at the same time not reassuring Sunny. And I don't know if that has to do with the fact that his mind is really foggy right now over Oscar, and that sort of influenced his wishy-washiness towards Sunny.
Well,
Because
that's what
you're
I was thinking. Like, he's just like in a weird place, and he's just kind of like not completely in the moment. And he's talking to him and wants to reassure him, but it still kind of gets lost in what he's trying to say.
yeah, you know what, I agree with that. And I think that even Jason and Sam sort of support that, because they made a point, I think, in their conversation between them two, when Sam was like, "Oh, Sunny doesn't know." So I think even them just saying that just sort of reinforces the fact that, oh, Sunny doesn't know about Drew and doesn't really understand how that could maybe color the interaction he just had with him. And
Good
so
point.
I just think that all of this really just adds depth to what Drew is going through, really.
Okay, I know I'm jumping, but because you spoke about Jason and Sam's interaction,
Oh, was that not
like,
annoying?
oh my God, I was dying when she's like, "I'm not ready," blah 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 blah, and he's like, "Yeah, cold showers." I was dying.
Ah, I just did he really say that?
He did. So he did. So they're talking about how, like, you're okay with this, or something about taking it slow.
I'm
Oh yeah, they're talking about taking it slow.
I don't
And then he's
understand.
like, "Yep, cold shower."
I just didn't understand why you're reiterating this. You've had this conversation already, and then you're kind of in a way complaining to Jason, the guy who's ready to be with you, about how you don't want to be pushed even further. Like, no one cares, Sam. Like,
But
you
then she
like, I don't
also
understand.
but then she also spoke about fighting for someone.
then she's talking about how he thinks we're meant to be and we're destined. I'm like, this is such an awkward conversation to be having. Like, these are the kinds of things you say to yourself in the mirror, not to Jason's face or out loud.
I know, because I'm like, are you just saying things because this is what you believe and
It
you
was,
want him to fight for you
I
harder?
don't know. I feel like she blacked out and was just saying things.
Me
And she
too.
didn't know who was there. Because I love them. I really do. But that conversation, to me, I'm like, this is too awkward. I don't think I can fully pay attention to this because I am cringing right now at the things she's saying.
But maybe that the whole point is, and we've talked about this
What's
over.
the point? Tell me, please.
Okay, the point is that it's bringing a human level to Sam. Sam always has her shit together. She says like, I'm a mom of two. She has her own business. She doesn't need a man. If one comes into her life, that's an addition to her life. It does not complete her. She is a
But he,
complete person who makes decisions in her life. And now she's in this place of almost like teenage, I don't know what to do. I'm confused and I'm trying to make sense of it all. So I'm just saying stuff. So it brings her back to human.
okay. All right. Well, she's always been a bit more rambly than Jason is. But I'll go with that. She's gone through a lot and she's gone through a lot and she needs to like figure it out.
Yeah, figure it
And we
out.
should all just support her in this. But I'm like, please don't rant like that again. I mean, he's kind enough to take his cold showers and to wait. You don't need to talk to him to his face about things like, oh, we're destined. She's not saying it. She's speaking on behalf of Spinelli, but it's still a weird topic to talk about, I think.
Well, yeah, especially the fact that he's like, do you want me to say something to him again? She's like, no, no, don't say anything. And then she pauses, and then it's the whole like, because nothing's going to change. But it really seems like she's having this internal conflict out loud.
Yeah, that's exactly it. She's talking out loud when she shouldn't. She should be talking in her head.
Yeah, I agree. It was funny.
Oh my gosh, yes, it was pretty funny. So okay. Let's just jump right into that aggravating scene. But it
Yeah.
had sort of a satisfying end in different ways, and we'll get to that. So
Okay.
so Drew turns Margot down. She was so cocky. She's like, I'm not surprised when I got your text. I'm like, really, Margot? Really? Wow. Like, you don't pick up on the fact that he's beyond irritated by you?
No concept. No, but she has no concept of like other people's feelings. So no.
And I swear every time, okay, so before okay, so let's just, I'm gonna try to do this. I'm gonna try to do this without
Calmly.
losing
Take a breath.
myself.
Take a breath. We could do
Everybody
this.
listening, everyone thinking about Margot, just take a breath. Okay, so she was seriously gonna pretend like she didn't do anything, like she was gonna just deny it. I'm sorry. I tried.
Oh my God. No, it's perfect. It's perfect. That's what I was thinking, and you said it, and that's why we have the sister bond. So it's like, it's good. It's good.
Oh my gosh, I don't even understand how we stood there and just was like, I continued in that conversation, like, sorry, I can't do this. Stop telling her you're sorry. One, you are not Canadian. Two, she's being a real B. And she was gonna deny it. She was gonna deny it. And oh, I can't. Okay. So we established the fact that Margot was gonna lie. But anyways, I was pretty mad about that. I think it's ridiculous how much she had to say no to her because she just doesn't
Well,
get it.
yes. It was absolutely infuriating that he had to prove to her why that he doesn't want to lose his memories from the
Oh my
last 5 years
gosh.
because of the relationships that he's built. Like, how can you tell somebody, but what about before? Yeah, but what is the point? He's going to forget a child he's had within the last 5 years
Who
to remember
cares?
his childhood. Like, who cares?
Who cares
Who
what happened in
cares?
high school? Are you serious? Is your life that sad? You're like, but what happened in high school? He literally is talking about finding out that he had a son, the birth of his daughter, his love with Sam. Like, their marriage didn't last, but that was seriously an amazing experience. He gained a new family, he gained a mom. Like, what is the matter with you? How do you compare all of that to, but you're not going to have your high school memories? Like, honestly, whenever she talks, it just kind of goes on and on because everybody else sort of understands and she's always the last one to get it. So it always feels like it's dragging on whenever she speaks. But what made that whole thing satisfying, not just her crying alone in the elevator,
Okay, because
but
that
whenever,
I had zero sympathy for that. I was
no, no,
like,
no,
good,
no, no.
cry.
She's so hard to have any sympathy for. And then she tries to get emotional. Like, my dad, are you joking right now? You have
I know.
like, honestly, what do you know? And I'm not like, again, I'm not trying to be insensitive, but the point is, like, she still doesn't share very much that would explain. Anyways, I'm not even gonna get into that. I've said it like every week. But what made it feel so satisfying to me was when
Oh
Sunny
yeah.
recognized her mama had an
I
affair.
oh
What is
I was like
Scully is her dad, and that guy's not even her dad.
I
But
was
it's still
like, bam,
well.
I didn't even think of that. That's genius. Sorry. That would be amazing. But yeah, when he saw that picture and saw her, I was like, damn, like explosions went off in my head.
Yeah,
Like, yes,
what do you like?
it's
Seriously,
freaking
what is
great.
she gonna? I don't know what she would do when she finds that out.
But how? Okay, so here's the thing. He can't just tell her. So is her mother
No,
like supposed to be alive or no?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, is this Scully guy alive?
No.
Ah,
Okay,
okay.
Mel.
Yeah.
So like these headphones I'm wearing are so big that I thought there was something like over my shoulder. And I keep turning and I'm like, why do I keep seeing it? But it's because I think I'm so scared. Okay,
Like the puppy chasing tail situation.
okay.
Oh my god. Okay.
Back to
So
Margot's mom having an affair. Yeah, no, Scully's dead. Scully's dead.
okay. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to make this believable to her so that she can see this in a different light.
Well, like I mean, I hope they're gonna make it really good, but I think that will be a really satisfying moment. I mean, it's so funny. It's great to have characters that you love to hate, but Margot just keeps getting it, which is really satisfying because you don't really get that a lot. Because like
True.
you often have people like with Nell, like people played into her for a super long time, and the fact that from the get go everybody sees Margot for who she is really satisfying, coming off of a huge storyline with Nell, basically.
That's a
Anyways,
good point.
something
You know what?
more fun. What
Yes. No, 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 go ahead. Because
I
that's
was
what I was
gonna
going to lead into. I'm like, let's talk about happier things.
Yeah, so Spencer, oh man, do I love that kid. He's so cute.
Oh
That was
yeah, what a great
horrible.
scene.
Yeah, it was so good. So him and Joss really loved it. It was so cute. I feel like he's the millionth boy that has called Jocelyn out on her dignity, and she just really couldn't care less, which makes me laugh. Because I
And
mean,
it
she's
does.
really
It makes it funny.
but well, because she's acting like a stubborn teenager. Like she's doing it really well, and I think the concept of her having stalked that other girl or trying to scheme is kind of what I would expect. But what I did not expect is for Carly to buy that she was okay. I'm like, she's your daughter. You know, 100% she's got a plan.
I know. I was really surprised that she didn't kind of like when she saw Cam come in with the pizza that she didn't like perk up a bit to be like, oh, you're studying history together? Like, okay.
Well, I loved her like looking at Cam the way she talks to him. It's just so funny. The way Carly was addressing Cameron was hilarious.
Yes, so true.
So, what did you think about Nicholas? Sorry, not even Nicholas. Spencer's scene with Ava. So he's still really, holding on to all of that. He's still very much
Oh,
hurting, and he's still really upset with her. And he finds her at the Metro Court.
I know, which I think is really funny because she's always there drinking like this should not do anything else. But
Again, she doesn't like Carly, but she's always there.
so the interaction, like I think what he was saying, he's a kid and he's angry and he has no parents and he's just speaking from the heart. And she's just like a overgrown child who is just responding to this little person in a way she thinks is gonna make sense. And I'm like, this is not
I
working like that.
know.
Stop.
I
Stop talking.
know. And it sucks because like if not for this, they did have a very cute relationship. But yeah, no, none of her arguments. It's kind of like when she talks to Kiki, none of it works on Kiki, and certainly you're a fool if you think what you say is gonna work on Spencer at all.
Exactly. So it was an interesting scene just to see their interactions. But I was like, again, and you're smack in the head like Ava. Really? Really? You think this is
I
the right thing to
mean,
say right now?
Spencer just spices up every scene, so it's so fun to have him back. I really wish he was
Yay!
there way more often. And there was Beach Bum JTC was like, you gotta love Spencer. Exactly. LTWO49 says, you tell her, Spencer. And there was this one I really, really love. I thought it was so nice. It was Moesha B7 said, it was powerful acting by this young man in the scene. I can see Spencer running Port Charles like his Uncle Sonny with an iron fist. Crazy, eh?
Oh, yeah, I like that.
And do you want to know who else commented on Spencer's return?
Oh, tell me, tell me.
Spencer himself, could you believe it? The actor and Nicholas Bichel, I think his name is, he actually commented. He liked our post about him on Instagram. So that was so, so, so cool.
And he put two little hearts. I don't know if you
I
saw that.
know. I
I
did. I
almost had a
thought it
heart
was so
attack.
cool. Yeah, I really love that. So I mean, thank you. Thank you, little Spencer. I really love that. We love you.
We do. Yay.
So, so, so. On to depressing things.
Okay, no, okay, before we get to depressing, can we get to cute before the depressing, or do we want to do
Sure.
cute after?
Well, what's cute?
Jason and Monica.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, that scene was like the best scene ever because Jason got to like be he almost got teary, she was getting teary, and when she brought up
Yeah.
the past of like when she was sick and that he was the only person. So like I think it was nice that they're linking together who he was and who he is now, that inherently he's still that same person who cares and loves people in a very specific way that's unique to him as a human, not as like Jason as a quartermaid or Jason as Sunny's person, but just as a human being.
Yeah, that's true. It was really emotional. And I was actually kind of surprised to see him get emotional in that scene. And like you said, it shows how he's grown too, and that he is a bit of both
Mhm.
of those people. And there is something about him that's core to both those sides of him, you know, Jason Quartermain and Jason Morgan. But it was really
I said
nice. And I
Jason.
it's like I don't really remember his other name right now. I'm so tired. But I thought that it was so cute that Monica actually said this sucks. Like she just really let it out. I mean, it's
Yeah.
hard what she's gone through. Like she's just lost so many people, and then to have gained a young kid into your life, to have gained a grandson, and to really breathe new life into their family, and then the possibility of having ripped away, which is why I'm also hoping this doesn't happen. I mean, if anything, if not for Monica, I think it's just too much.
It is. It's getting a little bit overboard. Like we get it. They have like some sort of weird quartermain curse. But at
Yeah,
this point
no,
in time,
it's
like
really too
really?
much. I think also keeping the secret is also getting really hard, and I understand at this point they've crossed the line with Oscar. He's mad at them for lying, but honestly, the whole secret keeping, this whole thing is getting out of hand because Sunny doesn't know, you know, and it's impacting how Drew might interact with him. And then there's the fact that
Yes.
Jocelyn doesn't know, and she's scheming and doing all these ridiculous things, and there's just a lot of people ultimately getting hurt. And you know, the reality is that Oscar needs time, which he doesn't have, to just sort of adjust to everything. And it's just it's a freaking disaster. Like he's a
It
smart
really
kid and he
is.
has the right to his reaction, but I mean, he keeps saying repeatedly, you know, I want to live things on my, like, the time I have left, I want to live it my way. But honestly, what is your way? Alone?
I know. What is he doing? He goes to the park and reads. This is what he does all day. Like that's living your best life with the time you have left with
You
nobody
know,
around you.
it's not even like he's saying, hey, let me just go intern with my dad. Like I'd rather just be sort of working, doing something else, and being around somebody I love. I don't know. I'm just I mean, it's realistic, you know. You're battling this teenager and there's so many layers to it, but it's getting really hard to watch, especially with the potential of the lawsuit coming in. Like I mean,
I
Jocelyn and
know.
him and that whole scheme, fine, that's one side of it. It's really unfortunate, but even bigger than that is this whole lawsuit thing. And I'm just like, honestly, this is going to be so hard to watch. I first thought it was going to be hard just because it's a sad story. Someone's sick, someone young is possibly dying. That's hard in itself. But adding this dimension to it, oh my gosh, it's going to be brutal.
I don't. Oh my God, it's heartbreaking. Like I can't even.
Honestly, I think there will be a court case.
You know.
I don't know where Alexis will end up after taking on a case like that because they're giving her incentive to take it because if not her, then it's Baldwin.
Spot. Right.
And she doesn't want him to do that. But it's definitely going to put a line in the sand between her and Julian and Kim.
Oh, when like absolutely, absolutely. There's no going back after that.
No. So, I mean, that's just going to be hard to watch. It was nice to see, well, one, Julian figure it out, and also being able
Oh,
that she finally came to him, you know, that she finally
I,
realized, hey, I don't have to tell you, but I can definitely still come to you.
I loved that scene of them together. Like I've said this before, like I really, really like them together. I like the way he treats her. I like
Mm-hmm.
how she has this relationship with him. So I love when he gave her the shaker and he's like, "Do you want to throw something?" And he gives her the martini shaker and she's
Yeah.
about to throw it out the window and he's like, "Whoa!" And then he grabs it from her. Like that was like she did great in that scene. Like I saw the hurt, the rage,
Oh
the
yeah.
wanting to throw it. Like it was very, very like passionate. I loved it.
No, that whole scene was super emotional, and I was just like, you should have just offered to make her a drink. Would have settled the
That's what I was
situation
thinking.
down.
I'm like, just pour a drink, give it to her, let her continue talking. I'm like, don't give her the shaker. Come
Oh,
on now.
I really thought she was gonna go throw it out the window.
Oh yeah, me too.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so that was a really great scene. Honestly, how this is going, yes, I figured it would happen sooner or later. Jocelyn and Cam, well, trying to get Cam to pretend to be her boyfriend. But honestly, like it's just strange. It's just strange because
Yeah.
now Cameron knows. Now Cameron knows there's nothing that she could do. So I don't really know how that's gonna play out. It was one thing if Cameron didn't know, but he does know.
That's a good point. And he likes her so much, and I have like this like love, not hate, but like I don't know how I feel about him 100%, but I don't want his little heart to be broken. He looks at her with such puppy dog eyes.
I know, right? I mean, I like Cameron and Oscar's interactions. I think they're super funny together. But again, they're always hot and cold, those two. But yeah, I really don't know where this is gonna go.
I don't know either, but I did like their little romance brewing situation where he was like razzing him and that he gave him a friendship leave.
I honestly, I'd rather see more of that than Cameron with Joss because I think you're right. He's gonna get hurt. He cares for Jocelyn, and the fact
Yes.
that Jocelyn doesn't see that, I'm like, really? But anyways, I mean, he did kiss you. Clue. Hi.
I
Into
know,
you.
right? Like, do you not get it? Like,
Yeah, all guys do that. When your boyfriend's a jerk, they're just like, oh, I'm gonna kiss you because that's just what you do.
so
I
friends
think there might be
do.
something behind that. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't want to see conflict between Cameron and Oscar. But again, Oscar is kind of really just asking for it at this point. With he's leaving this open. Like, how much is Cameron supposed to control with Jocelyn? Because he's not supposed to know. He's not supposed to be keeping this secret. Like, how much is
Yes.
Cameron really supposed to do?
So he's in a really tough position on both sides of the coin.
Yeah, because it's either because he can't tell her what's happening, so at the very least he can participate and do something that will maybe make her feel a little bit better, even though he knows it won't work.
But I love that when she said that it was Spencer who came up with this plan, he said Spencer's a super evil, a super villain waiting to
Yes,
happen. And it made me giggle.
that was maybe one of my favorite lines this week. So
Ugh.
okay, so a little bit more family drama. Um, I mean, are you just waiting for like this whole Stella Jordan thing to just be over by now?
I was gonna say, I'm so over it. Like, I really don't care.
Everyone is, but Stella. So like I'm just saying, Jordan, I just feel like telling her, stop feeling bad. Like, honestly, like, really stop feeling bad at this point. And I mean, I was actually surprised Stella recognized this, but when Jordan kept apologizing, I was screaming at the TV. I'm like, honestly, if you didn't cheat on your husband, you wouldn't have TJ. So, whatever. It happened, it happened. It set other things in motion, but you couldn't have known that. But bottom line, TJ came out of that. At least Stella acknowledged that, she was thankful for
True.
TJ, but at the same time, she's like, she keeps saying, she can't let go of the past. And it's like, you know what? You can also choose to just do something way smaller than that. You can choose to have a single conversation where you don't throw the past in anyone's face. Like
That's a
that
good
is a choice
point.
that you have.
Yeah, it's one step at a time. Nothing has to change overnight, but you're not even willing to give the smallest thing a try.
Not at all.
So it's like I'm over it. I'm over them trying. I'm over Curtis's contemplation. I'm over Jordan trying to be too nice. I'm over her being so angry. Like I don't even care for those scenes right now.
No, but were you surprised a little bit? Okay, so we were talking about how, Laura and even Spencer coming back are bringing back aspects of Valentine that we have not seen in a while. Because he did start out as a villain. He did do really bad things. He still has continued to, but ultimately he's done a lot of good. You know what I mean? And we've sort of changed the way in which we saw Valentine up until Laura showed up. But then it looks like it's bothering Valentine, and that you never see. He seems a little jealous that Peter is more accepted by
Oh
everyone
yeah,
else.
that scene was something else. I was like, that's not my Valentine. Like, what happened to
No.
him? It
I mean,
was brutal.
I'm not sure if that was like, vulnerability. I don't know what that was, but that strong guy, he doesn't really like being on the out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I was just like blown away at how like because Peter I still see him as this like broken bird,
yeah,
fragile bird, and then Valentine's like kind of being mean to him, and I'm like, I'm so conflicted with Valentine, and why are you being mean to Peter? And this is like it's not, he is nice and people are nice with him, deal with it.
Well, yeah, I mean, Laura was there to always put Valentine back in his place, but I just felt like, did Peter not know about Valentine and Nicholas? Because he is working
Oh.
with Lulu, but he seemed really like shocked when he heard Laura accuse him of killing her son.
So yeah, I just wasn't sure that it really didn't look like he knew what was going on, and I was surprised at like his reaction and everything. But Tina's just you're right. Like the evil is really coming out in him, and I'm so conflicted when I see those scenes because like I don't want him to go evil. He's making strides with Nina. He had that great scene with what is it, Sasha?
Sasha, yeah.
Yeah. So he had this really great scene with Sasha that Maxie overheard, and I was just like, so it goes from like that to like this scene with Peter.
I know. And I kind of felt like, because he's being mad for not being accepted, but I honestly thought Maxie overhearing Valentine talk about Nina that way would sort of cause Maxie to maybe be a little bit more team Nina and Valentine.
Yeah.
So what I thought was crazy is that, Sasha's having difficulty wanting to even interact with Nina, but then she wanted to jump at the chance of meeting her dad.
I know. I thought that was really bizarre.
Did you think anything about the whole Kiki picture? I mean, she's showing a family tree. I get that. She's showing her pictures. But I don't
Yes.
know. Did you feel weird when you saw Kiki's picture show up? Like they're half sisters? I was shocked at that. I did not put two and two together.
Me too. I was like, why is Kiki's picture there? I'm so confused right now.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was in my head, but I felt like there was an overemphasis on it. I tried rewatching it. It's just that I get it. It's the last picture they show, but it's also the last picture they sort of zoom in on in the pile. Like they didn't have to show Kiki's picture again when Nina was putting them away.
That's a good point. I think there's something that's going to happen there, like either interaction wise with Sasha and Kiki. I don't know, but I think there's something interesting brewing there.
So I had this conversation with somebody on Instagram. So Carrie Birdwell. So she just made a comment saying, wouldn't it be funny if Kiki was her twin? So that like blew my mind. And then
Same here.
and I mean, I don't know. I personally love that theory. I mean, I kind of want Kiki to be Nina's daughter. I think it would be really interesting. But then when she said that, I was like, okay, well, anyway, so she thinks it would be really cool. She feels that Kiki and Nina are both great actresses, and they both have faced a lot of heartache and would deserve a wonderful ending. Well, yeah, more probably Kiki having like a decent mom. But
Yes.
I
Oh,
don't
that's much
know.
up.
I mean, I shockingly Johnny pointed this out, but he's like, "What would be the logic of Nina's mother separating the girls?" I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know because well, Madeline was crazy, but I mean, Jason and Drew got separated. Twins get separated. It's a soap opera.
Right,
It just happens.
right. To hide things better, they separate them. But the
Exactly.
other thing is that it seems, because you know how they made a point with the DNA test of saying, well, it's DNA, so it's kind of like certain. Obviously not, because the necklace keeps coming back around. So as much as science is 100% and DNA is 99.9, it seems as though that the secret to all this might be whoever has the other half of Nina's necklace. And I feel that is the ultimate
Ooh,
proof at the end of the day.
interesting. Because she had no idea about the necklace. But what if Kiki pulls out this necklace?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Okay, I'm getting scared.
I'm getting goosebumps. Are you
I
getting
know.
scared?
I don't have any other reaction. There's no like goosebumps. There's no ooh ah. It's just automatic fear at thinking about something that could possibly be true. I don't know.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
Yeah. So I mean, that was pretty much it for this week. But yeah, I'm just not convinced with the whole Nina thing. And I think for there to be certainty, we gotta know who has the other half of that necklace. And I think that's the key.
The major piece to this is the necklace, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that whoever has it and how that unfolds and what happens next.
Got it.
Oh my God, like we both, like I'm having such a problem, so tired, like the words are not coming. It's just
That's
terrible.
okay. That's
Ay,
okay. I got them. I received them. I heard them. And I think everyone else will too. So why don't
good.
you get some rest and have a really good weekend and a good week? And we'll catch up next week.
You too.
Thank you. Bye bye. Good night.
Bye. Good night.